Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, October 16th. It is day 600. Sad to say we made it to day 600 of Russia's special military operation, 3-day military operation. Epic failure. So we're going to go through the losses over the last 24 hours. As the thumbnail said, it's yet another bad day for the Russian military. This one kind of hurt them in the air as well as on the ground. And then just a few other tidbits and news articles that I think you might find interesting to start your day. Please like, subscribe, and share. It's the best way to beat the algorithms. We're always battling against Russian bots. We're battling against other news items, that sort of thing. So I could really use and appreciate your subscriptions and your likes. It really just boosts me to the top, and not to the top, but gets me onto more viewable pages for people and helps to spread the word. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, so I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so to dive into yesterday's losses over the last 24 hours. I keep expecting that the Avdiivka front will slow down, that the Russians will wise up like they did in Vuhledar after about a week. It's been about a week. I think it's about 6 days, maybe 5-6 days of the incredibly costly attack around the Avdiivka area to try to surround that city. But the losses keep piling up. So over the last 24 hours, the Russians have lost approximately 860 troops, 17 tanks, which is kind of spiking back up again, 23 APVs, which is right in the norm, I guess you want to say. 44 artillery again. That's also ramped back up. And then again, that is anything from mortars to your heavy SPGs. And the Russians don't have a very good, it seems like, supply and ability to protect their artillery. And there are different trains of thought that they're moving their artillery closer to the front because of the fact that their barrels have become so sort of degraded that they're getting banana barrel and the accuracy is falling, so they've got to get closer to make them more accurate. Other trains of thought are that just the Ukrainian counter battery fire is so good that anytime the Russians shoot a single shell, that artillery system is instantly targeted, and the Ukrainians kind of have a deeper supply of munitions to fire, including HIMARS, which are able to look for those sorts of targets now. So who knows, but 44 artillery pieces is huge. One MLRS, I'll show you one of them taken out in a video. One aircraft was lost. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. One aircraft was lost. I'm not quite sure what that aircraft was. I was hunting and hunting and hunting. I can't find out what type it was, but the Ukrainian MOD confirmed that they've taken down an airplane over the last 24 hours and one helicopter, which is an Mi-8. I have the aftermath of that, plus 11 UAVs. The Russians did conduct a fairly extensive, if you want to call it that, drone attack on various Ukrainian locations, overnight especially. So moving on, here is the video of the Mi-8 aftermath. 1 second, let's bring this up. I mean, you're just trusting the video source that this is actually an Mi-8. That's the only video that I could find. Very potatoey, very long distance from a drone. What is an Mi-8? Basically, Mi-8 is a sort of a multi-role, multi-purpose older helicopter. 7,300 of them have been built since 1961. After the Mi-8, basically it kind of morphed into the M117, which is a more modern aircraft, but basically these things have been, troop transport, medical evac. They can be launched, they can be set up with rocket pods, etc. So it's a very kind kind of like a workhorse of the Russian military. So good to see another air asset taken out by the Ukrainians. Next up, and I apologize, there we go. So a senior Ukrainian military official, so speaking of the sort of the Avdiivka offensive by the Russians and the massive losses, a senior Ukrainian official has basically said that the Avdiivka offensive is failing. Top Ukrainian commander has claimed the Russians' biggest offensive in months, involving tanks, thousands of soldiers, and armored vehicles in an attack on the eastern Ukrainian town of Avdiivka, is failing, as he admitted that Kyiv's own attempts to advance in the south were difficult. So, you're getting a good slice of life here. He's not saying everything's rosy. Yeah, like below Apitny, whatever, or Kyiv, or whatever the other cities are around there. In the south, it's very, very difficult. It's a tough slog. They are going into the teeth of the Russians' main defensive lines too, so no kidding. But on the Avdiivka side of things, you're getting a good slice of life, and it's not like it's a newsflash for us when a Ukrainian official says it's failing. Thousands of troops have died there. Thousands of troops for dozens of meters. It's astounding. Russian forces have pummeled the town over the past week. A key bulge surrounded by Russian-held territory in the eastern Donbass front. It is one of the largest assaults by Moscow since last year's full-scale invasion, and comes at a time with Ukraine's counteroffensive moving slowly. At least 3 Russian battalions, each supported by an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 troops. So that's 6,000 to 9,000 total troops began a dawn attack last Tuesday. And you've just seen video after video. I don't have to go into too much detail, but hundreds of pieces of equipment and thousands of men have died assaulting that town. And I apologize, that's my dog. He doesn't agree with that assault either. Oh my goodness. This is just a comedy of errors, isn't it? I hope my internet didn't just go out. I'm in the middle of recording. Come on back. Okay, here we go. So this is just a brief synopsis of the night attack on Ukraine. Russians launched many Shahed drones and some cruise missiles. On the night of October 16th, Russia launched an attack on Ukraine from multiple directions, employing Iskander and ballistic missiles, guided aviation missiles, and drones, resulting in casualties and damaging several regions. So, according to the Ukrainian Air Force, occupiers conducted a multi-pronged attack on Ukraine during the night, using ballistic weapons, guided aviation missiles, and combat drones. The attack involved the use of the Iskander ballistic missile, 5 Kh-59 guided aviation missiles, 12 Shahed 136, 131 combat drones. The Ukrainian Air Defense Forces managed to successfully intercept and destroy 2 of the Kh-59 guided missiles. So 2 of the 5, so 3 got through, and 11 of the 12 Shaheds, which is a really good success rate. And then basically here it just breaks it down. So no lives were lost, which is great, even though civilian infrastructure is all they target. It was the Poltava region, the Dnipropetrovsk region. I nailed that. I absolutely nailed that. The Kirovohrad region, Khmelnytsky, and the peculiarities of the attack. Natalia Hamelnyuk, the spokesman for the Southern Defense Forces, explained that the enemy's aerial targets followed complex trajectories. Russian forces deployed Iranian kamikaze drones in different directions, attempting to circumvent Ukrainian air defense systems. Challenging weather conditions, including storms and strong gusty winds, hindered the operation of the air defense forces. Yuri Ilnak, the spokesperson for the Air Defense Command, reported that around midnight the Russian launched the Iskander M ballistic missiles. Additionally, the enemy used Kh-59 guided aviation missiles, primarily deployed from tactical aircraft. He said that there were 5 missiles in total, 2 of which were shot. We said that already. So basically, the the Russians want to hit the civilian infrastructure cities so badly, they will fire drones from different directions, send them in different directions, have them do looping and arcing and S-curve type attack vectors, all to try to throw off air defense. So don't come from one direction. It is a smart tactic. It's just horrible that they're employing it against civilian cities and infrastructure. But the Ukrainians are incredibly intelligent and are well aware that that's what the Russian tactics are. So can never have too much air defense, but they've done a pretty good job of taking out some high-end missiles. This one's really interesting. So this is a this Ukrainian observed the Russian Zala observation drone. So this is basically a large observation drone, and when it wants to land, it has to deploy a parachute, and it basically coasts to the ground, and then somebody has to manually pick it up and bring it back, recharge the battery, whatever, refill the fuel. I'm not quite sure how it operates, but I would assume it's fuel. But anyways, so it's a very high risk operation to basically retrieve this drone and then bring it back to your drone operations base. So let's see what happens with this. So here you see the drone. So that happened so quick. Let me do this again. So there's the drone flying, and they're observing it. They're going to see where it goes. And then you see here, it's basically deployed its chute, and it's coming in for a landing. It's done its little mission. So there it is laying in the woods, and you're going to see the drone operators coming to retrieve it and bring it back to their little Breaking Bad shed. So clearly this shed's been geolocated, targeted, and they've called in the location, and inside there is at least one drone and at least one drone operator, so it's considered a high value target. And that was a HIMARS hit, I believe. Whatever type of ammunition it was, it punctured straight through the roof and then blew up inside. Instead of blowing up above the roof, you can tell it actually punctured it and blew up as soon as it got inside. And here comes Powell and the boys to see what's up. And then it burns. So, patience pays off, right? You don't just take out the target when it crashed to the ground. You wait for someone to pick it up, and then you wait to see where it goes, and then you target where it goes. To show you a couple of MLRS, multiple launch rocket system hits. First of all, here's a Uragan being hit by the Ukrainians. And again, wait for the Uragan to park.
Кого нема, хто забереться, в кого є, тому повернеться, хто це зрозумів, річкою життя.
I just want to talk about the accuracy again. You can see this nice clean field here, nice clean field here. A lot of times you can't tell if it was a first strike hit or not, but in this case, I don't see any misses, any pockmarks anywhere else. This literally looks like a one and done.
Зіліється від себе не втечеш, де би ти не був, що би не зробив, що би не здобув. В стіні виступає, землю свою захищаєш, вставай. То що би той день не закінчився, ясний, щоб твоє життя до кінця не згасло. Слухай, братове, слухай, знай, ніколи не забувай. Жити, буду тут жити, ще будуть радіти. Тут найкраща наша земля, вона нам Богом дана. Нужбо, хлопці, всі до лави, нужбо, там Божі справи, нужбо, тримаймо стрій, нужбо, з Богом бігти, нужбо, хлопці, всі до лави, нужбо, там Божі справи, нужбо.
Incredible accuracy. And here is a TOS thermobaric It's called a flamethrower. It's not a flamethrower. It's not like a traditional flamethrower, but that's what the name is. But this TOS clearly is loaded up with ammunition, and it looks like it's got its pods elevated and ready to fire. As you can tell when I expand it, you see that's up on a 45, and it's backed up out of the woods. Looks like he's done a little 180 turn here, and he's getting ready to fire. So it's very important that you take it out. That's Ramstein, I think, or something. A very angry song. I'm not going to get copyrighted for that one. I hope I don't. And that's the aftermath. You can see the rocket pods that were on top is just completely gone. So this is in the bay of this Sevastopol harbor. So I wanted to kind of show you this to basically, obviously the Ukrainians are just dominating the Russian Black Sea Fleet. These are two BM-21 grads, one there, parked basically as sort of sentries outside of Sevastopol harbor. And then this is a satellite view. So this, I believe, is the outside of the harbor. This is on the inside of the harbor. And you can see, and I can't tell you what everything is, but you can basically see how terrified the Russians are, and how unable the Russians are to stop the USVs like the Sea Baby and others. So they have basically multi-layered defenses, and you can tell, like, some of them, these booms here are laying on top of the water. These barges are on top of the water, kind of creating a bit of a barrier. I'm not really sure what that's going to accomplish, because anybody with half decent piloting skills could get a drone through there, and this whole center part is clearly open for shipping. But you can see what looks like some buoys or something that are all floating here, a line there, a line there. I assume they've got a net underneath them. And then you've got this line, which is faintly visible there, faintly visible here. That, to me, almost looks like those are underwater, and just barely visible via satellite. So really interesting to see. Anyways, it's like a multi-layered kind of defense. But at the same time, you have to have the center of it open for shipping. And if a ship can get through, a USV can get through. I think these are primarily to stop the underwater variants. But anyways, I just thought it was a neat new satellite photo that came out that you might find interesting, at the terror that the Russians are going through and the lengths that they're going through to try to stop these drones. But I mean, an average person can look at this and go, well, if I had a speedboat or if I had a USV, I would just basically follow the ships in. The submarine ones, the submersible ones, might be having a more difficult time if that truly is a submerged. But a ship's hull, a lot of them draft like 10, 12, 14 feet. And if a ship that drafts 14 feet can get through there, then a drone that drafts that hides 3 feet under the water could get through. So anyways, just very interesting, something I thought you'd find interesting to see from above. This is kind of a meme, kind of a joke, but also kind of serious, that the reports indicate that North Korean armaments have arrived. Let's watch that again. Here comes a North Korean RPG. I'm sorry. Time to run. Everybody runs. I don't know if it's confirmed that was North Korean or not, but that's basically the quality. There's already reports that North Korean artillery has arrived, and a lot of Russian soldiers are complaining that they're duds. This is basically a nice slice of life of what the Ukrainian troops look like. You can see a diversity of, it looks like ethnicities, age, experience, that sort of thing. So these are Ukrainians waiting to possibly go to the front line. They're on leave, whatever it happens to be. not leave, sorry, you know what I mean. Like basically on a, either heading home after a deployment or on the way to a deployment. They look pretty happy and energetic, so I'm thinking they're on their way there because usually you look pretty tired afterwards. But here you go. I'm gonna. Just let you know there is music playing, but I'm pretty sure that one will be copyrighted. You can see the various ages. Happy dudes. Here you go. And last, sorry, it's a bit of a sad note, but just wanted to honor a fallen hero. This is Ukrainian Army soldier Vladimir Gerashenko, a graduate of the Kharkiv University of Skovoroda. He was recently killed in action near the village of Podola, Kupian district, Kharkiv Oblast on the Eastern Front on October 23rd. Nice looking man. Another hero has befallen. Anyways, that's it. I just wanted to kind of provide you with those little tidbits and news items, etc., to start your day. Hope you all have a great Monday. Slava Ukraini.